You only get 1 or 2 free hours a day, and somehow the house still looks like a mess no matter how much you clean. There was a long stretch where I felt constantly overloaded. My schedule was packed, my energy was low, and every time I looked around the house, it just felt chaotic and heavy. After a lot of trial and error, I realized that trying to save the whole house in one day only made me burn out faster. So I switched to small, fast hacks that still make a big visible difference. In this video, I'm sharing 5 super practical cleaning and home hacks for people who are really busy, but still want their space to feel lighter and more put together. These are things I actually use in my own daily routine, and what I love is that each hack gives you a clear result in a short amount of time. No sacrificing your entire evening or weekend. If you're not chasing perfection and just want realistic solutions you can do in that 1 to 2 hour window, this is for you. And the first hack is a whitening trick for your laundry that turns the soaking water completely brown in the most satisfying way. You're going to want to see that. Let's start with brown water soak for whites. There's a very specific kind of frustration that comes with laundry. You open the washer, pull the clean clothes out, and the socks, towels, cleaning cloths still look gray and dull. The machine ran, the detergent was there. You spent time hanging or drying and folding, but it still doesn't look properly clean. I was so used to that feeling that for a long time I just assumed white clothes fade and get ugly after a few washes. That's just how it is. Later, I decided to do it differently. Instead of running the same load on a regular cycle over and over and hoping it would somehow look brighter, I started separating the really dirty whites and treating them in a completely different way. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, but the difference is very obvious. First, I keep a small basket just for heavily soiled white items: socks that come home dingy, face towels with stains, kitchen towels that picked up oil, microfiber cloths that lost their brightness. The removable mop head. Anything white that looks too far gone goes in that basket. It usually fills up in about 2 or 3 days. When it's full, that's my sign to tackle it instead of throwing those pieces into a regular mixed load and hoping for the best. When I know I'll be home for a few hours, I set everything up in one go. I grab a bucket tub, or even use the washer drum if it has a soak function. I fill it with hot water as hot as the fabric can handle without shrinking or damaging it, then add a whitening oxygen booster made for whites following the instructions on the package. For very dirty pieces, I usually add a bit more than the minimum. After that, I put all the white items from that basket into the water and press them down so they're fully submerged. That's it for the setup. No scrubbing, no standing over the sink. I leave them to soak for at least 6 hours. If the day gets busy, longer is fine. Whenever I pass by and remember, I put on gloves and gently move everything around with my hands, squeeze things a bit so the solution gets into all the fibers. Each time takes less than a minute. I don't treat it as a separate laundry session, just a quick extra step while I'm already walking past. After a while, the water in the tub starts turning brown or gray. It's not pretty, but it's very clear all that dirt, sweat, and grime that was stuck in the fibers is now in the water instead. At that point, I drain all the dirty water, then transfer the soaked items straight into the washer. I add my regular detergent, and if I have it on hand, I'll add a bit of rinse aid or a rinse and refresh type product, sometimes scent beads if I want everything to smell extra clean. For whites, I always choose hot water and a quick wash cycle. The logic is simple. The main cleaning already happened during the soak. The wash cycle is just there to rinse everything thoroughly and finish the job. In a busy day, this routine doesn't actually eat up much real time. In the morning, while I'm waiting for the kettle or coffee machine, I set up the soak. It takes maybe 5 minutes. Around midday or early afternoon, if I walk by and remember, I give it a quick stir. Late afternoon, I drain the water and start the quick wash. In the evening, I move everything to the dryer or hang it up depending on the fabric. The difference is noticeable. Towels look brighter, socks don't have that clean, but still kind of dirty look, and the mop head looks much less disgusting. It sounds small, but it changes how the house feels. The things that are supposed to be clean actually look clean. And more importantly, It changes how I feel about the effort I put in. I feel like I'm in control of it instead of just hoping the machine will fix it. This habit isn't about turning your home into a perfect showroom. The goal is much simpler when you take the time to deal with one seriously dirty load of whites. You can clearly see the difference. One soak like this gives you a very obvious before and after without wearing yourself out. And once you've watched that entire tub of water turn brown from all the grime that came out, you naturally start paying more attention to other hidden buildup in your home, especially inside your machines. For me, the next place that needed that kind of deep clean was the dryer. Let's move on to the next tip to find out. In the next video, we'll move from cleaning to making your living space work for you. Not a complete overhaul, not a major purge. Just spend an hour or so looking at a small area that no longer works and changing it to make it more livable and easier to maintain. And if this calm, practical approach to home care resonates with you, you can subscribe to see the next video. Now back to today. Now let's move on to deep cleaning the dryer. There's a kind of mess we rarely think about simply because we don't really see it, the buildup inside our machines. From the outside, the dryer looks fine. You pull the lint screen out, swipe it with your hand, roll the fuzz into a little ball, throw it away and think, okay, that's done. But inside the machine in the slot, where the filter sits along the vent path, lint and dust keep collecting quietly. For a long time, I didn't give it a second thought. The dryer turned on, the clothes came out dry, so in my mind, everything was good enough. Then one day, I pulled the lint screen out, shined a flashlight down into that slot, and saw clumps of lint stuck along the sides and deeper inside. It wasn't dramatic, but it was enough to make me uncomfortable. That's when I decided to add one very simple step to my routine, an actual deep clean for the lint area. The easiest way to do it is with a long, narrow, flexible dryer cleaning brush, the kind that's made to fit into tight spaces. You don't need a big kit or a bunch of attachments. One decent brush is plenty. Here's how I use it. On a day when I'm already doing laundry, I wait until there's a gap between loads. I pull out the lint screen like I always do, but instead of stopping after I clean it, I take the brush and gently slide it down into the slot where the filter sits. I move it in and out, slowly turning it slightly so the bristles can grab whatever is stuck along the sides. I don't force it or jam it all the way down. I just let it follow the shape of the duct. Usually on the first pass, the brush comes back with more lint than I want to admit. Little gray clumps, fine dust, sometimes even a bit of grit. I pull that off, toss it in the trash, and send the brush back in a few more times from slightly different angles. If I feel like being thorough, I'll also run the brush gently around the inside edge of the door, opening anywhere I can see dust clinging. The whole thing takes about 5 minutes start to finish. I don't do this every time I use the dryer, that would be unrealistic. What works for me is tying it to something I actually notice if the lint screen seems to fill up faster than usual, or if a load is taking longer to dry than it should. That's my reminder. On average, it ends up being about once a month, sometimes every 6 weeks. Not perfect, but a lot better than never touching it at all. What I get from this is mostly peace of mind. The dryer runs more efficiently, clothes dry faster, and I don't feel like the machine is struggling. More importantly, I know I'm not letting piles of lint sit inside a hot appliance for years. It's not the kind of thing you can show off in a pretty before and after picture, but it does make you feel like your home is being cared for a bit more intentionally. And once you start noticing hidden buildup in the dryer, it's hard not to see the same pattern in other cleaning tools. The vacuum, the brushes, the microfiber cloths that are supposed to help you clean, but end up holding on to their own layer of dirt. That's exactly what I had to tackle next. Now we come to the next tip. Clean tools. One thing that used to quietly drain my energy was realizing my cleaning tools weren't actually clean. The microfiber cloths felt greasy. The vacuum sounded like it was working hard, but didn't pick up much, and the brush head was wrapped in hair. It's hard to feel good about wiping a surface when the cloth in your hand already looks tired. At some point, I stopped ignoring it and gave the tools their own routine. Not a whole cleaning day. just a few habits that keep them working properly. So I'm not fighting against them every time I try to tidy up. When it comes to microfiber, the rules are different from regular laundry. These cloths are meant to grab dust oil and tiny particles, and they do it well until we clog them up with the wrong products. Fabric softener dryer sheets, even too hot water, can coat or damage the fibers, so they stop doing their job. These days I give microfiber its own basket the same way I do with whites. Every time I finish wiping surfaces, mirrors, the bathroom sink, or the kitchen counters, the cloths go straight into that basket. I don't mix them with regular clothes or towels. Once the basket is full, I run a dedicated load just for them. In the washer, I keep it simple, regular liquid detergent. No fabric softener, no bleach. If I have a rinse and refresh style product or a laundry sanitizer, I'll add a little of that, because microfiber tends to hold on to product residue and smells. I wash them in warm water, not boiling hot, and I always skip the overcomplicated settings. They don't need spa treatment. They just need a thorough rinse. For drying, I avoid high heat, and I never use dryer sheets. Medium heat or low heat is enough. High heat can damage the fibers over time, and dryer sheets leave a coating that makes the cloth smear instead of grab. It's not dramatic, they still look fine, but you feel it when you wipe a mirror, and it leaves streaks no matter how many times you go over it. After I changed this routine, the cloths went back to feeling more grabby on glass and counters. The vacuum is the other important part of this. Vacuuming the stairs or the rugs, and seeing each pass leave a clean line is so satisfying. But that feeling disappears quickly if the vacuum is too heavy, too bulky, or barely picking anything up. So I tried switching to a different type. Now I use a vacuum that's small, lightweight, slim, and has a detachable body. That way it's easy to carry up and down the stairs, and I can bring it out to the car as well. If every time I pull the vacuum out, it feels like I'm going to the gym, then on the days when I'm tired or busy, I simply won't use it. Even with a good vacuum, hair is the enemy. Long hair wraps around the brush roll and around the smaller stair attachment. For a while I ignored it right up until the day I noticed the brush head spinning slower and leaving half the crumbs behind. Now I keep a small tool with my cleaning supplies. You can find versions of it online that has a little cutting edge and a hook made specifically to deal with hair wrapped around vacuums and brushes. Here's how I use it in real life. When I'm done vacuuming the stairs or the rugs, I set the vacuum down for an extra 2 minutes before putting it away. I flip the head over, look at the brush, and if I see a layer of hair, I run the cutting edge of that tool along the grooves where the hair is wrapped. It slices through the strands, so I can pull everything out in 1 or 2 clumps instead of picking at it with my fingers. If there are screws holding the cover on the other end of the tool, usually works as a simple screwdriver so I can remove the plate clean under it and put it back. I do the same thing with hairbrushes. Instead of pretending I don't see the mat of hair and dust tangled between the bristles, I use the little hooked side to rake through, pull it all out, and start fresh. It's not glamorous, but it keeps the tools from turning into their own source of grime. None of this is about making cleaning into a full-time job. It's about making sure that when you finally do have 20 minutes to wipe things down or run the vacuum, the cloths actually absorb and the vacuum actually sucks. Clean tools don't magically give you more time, but they make the time you already spend feel less pointless. And once your tools start working with you instead of against you, it's easier to move on to the next layer, not trying to control the whole house at once, just choosing one spot that changes how the room feels. For me, that starts in the bedroom with something as simple as the bed. The next tip is, start with the bed, when the whole room feels like too much. There are days when just walking into the bedroom feels heavy. Clothes draped over the chair, random things piling up on the nightstand, a laundry basket sitting half-folded in the corner. When you're already tired, the idea of clean the bedroom is enough to make you turn around and walk back out. I've had so many nights where I thought I really should fix this and then didn't. At some point, I had to accept this. I can't handle the whole room in one go. And if I only have energy for one thing, I start with the bed. Not because it's pretty or aesthetic, but because once the bed is made, the whole room looks different. your eyes have one calm, tidy surface to land on, even if everything else still needs work. On a normal morning, I don't do anything fancy. No styling 10-throw pillows, no dramatic steaming. I just pull the sheet tight, smooth out the blanket or comforter, and stack the pillows so they look intentional instead of collapsed. That's it. If I don't overthink it, it takes about 2 minutes. But if you want the bed to actually hold its shape through the day, there's a small trick that helps a lot, tightening the corners. Every time I put fresh sheets on, I use what people usually call a hospital corner at the bottom of the bed. It sounds technical, but it's just folding the sheet in a way that hugs the corner of the mattress. I pull the sheet down, tuck the bottom edge under, then lift the side up, fold it into a straight line, and tuck it down again so it sits snug. After you've done it a few times, your hands remember it. The upside is simple: when someone sits on the edge of the bed, the sheet doesn't immediately pull loose and explode. The bed still looks made the next morning instead of wrecked. With washing, I also stick to what's realistic, not what the internet says is perfect. There's a lot of pressure out there about how often you should wash everything, and honestly, most busy people don't live like that. I ended up with a rhythm that actually fits my life: pillowcases once a week. They touch my face and hair, so they get priority. Sheets every other week. Sooner if something spills or there's a specific reason. Comforter, duvet cover every few months unless it's directly against my skin every night. It's not a flawless schedule. It's just consistent enough that I don't feel gross getting into bed, and I don't feel like I live in a laundry cycle. Every now and then, especially in weeks when I've been sweating more, or the weather feels stuffy, I'll add one small extra step after I make the bed. I spray a light fabric or linen spray over the top. Nothing heavy, just enough to cut any stale smell and make it feel freshened up without washing everything again. It's not essential, but on the harder weeks, it makes that moment before sleep a little kinder. The biggest thing I notice is how it affects my mood. On days when the rest of the house isn't where I want it to be, walking into a room with a made bed is a relief. It doesn't magically erase the laundry basket or the clutter on the dresser, but it gives me one clear, calm spot that says, this part is handled. Sometimes that's enough to stop me from feeling like I'm losing to the house. And this is one of the few things that still feels worth doing, even if it's late. There have been plenty of nights where the whole day got away from me, and I ended up making the bed right before getting in just because I couldn't stand crawling into a tangled mess. It might take 30 seconds, but pulling everything flat and propping the pillows back up makes the room quieter, and my brain settles down faster. Starting with the bed isn't a rule, it's a shortcut. It's like telling yourself, I can't do everything today, but I can do this, and this will matter. The last one is tiny habits that actually fit into a busy day. A lot of my frustration with cleaning used to come from the all-or-nothing mindset. Either I'd try to tackle everything at once and burn out, or I'd be too tired to start at all and the mess would just grow quietly in the background. What finally helped was shrinking things down until they could fit into the scraps of time I actually have, not the imaginary free day I wish I had. For me, that looks like 4 small pieces: a short list, a 10-minute fold, a 3-minute screen clean, and a few 5-minute pockets. None of them are impressive on their own, but together they stop the house from sliding into chaos quite so quickly. Firstly is a short list instead of a vague, I need to clean. On days when my head is noisy, I need to clean. Doesn't mean anything. It just floats around making me feel guilty. So I've gotten into the habit of writing down 3 small specific tasks instead. Not 15, not organize the whole kitchen. Just 3 things I can realistically do in the window of time I have. It might look like, start a white soak, vacuum the stairs, empty and reload the dishwasher. I keep it plain. No stickers, no color coding. Just a pen and a scrap of paper or a note on my phone. When one thing is done, I cross it out. Seeing a line through a task feels a lot better than carrying around a mental list I never finish. And if I only get 1 or 2 done that day, at least I know what I did instead of going to bed thinking I did nothing when that's not true. Second is the 10-minute fold, so laundry stops staring at you. I used to be pretty good at washing and drying laundry and terrible at folding. Clean clothes would sit in baskets for days, sometimes weeks, and every time I walked past them, I'd get that little stab of, I should really fold that. It didn't seem like a big deal, but it was draining. Now instead of telling myself, fold all the laundry, I give it 10 minutes. I make it as bearable as possible. I make a drink, I like coffee, tea, whatever. I put on music or a podcast I can listen to without thinking too hard. I set a timer for 10 minutes and only focus on one basket. If I finish the basket before the timer goes off, great. If I don't, I stop when it rings. The important part is that the basket is at least smaller than it was. Some days I reset the timer and keep going because I'm already in the rhythm. Other days I'm done after one round, and that's okay. A half-empty basket is still better than a full one sitting there for a week. The next one is a 3-minute screen clean when everything feels grimy. Screens are sneaky. They don't look like clutter, but when they're covered in fingerprints and dust, the whole room feels a bit dirtier. TV, laptop, tablet. Phone, they're all right in front of our faces most of the day. So I turned screen cleaning into a tiny task I do when I need a quick win. I keep a small soft brush and a microfiber cloth in the same spot. When I notice the smudges getting to me, I give myself 3 minutes, use the brush to get crumbs and dust out of the edges and corners. Breathe lightly on the screen for a bit of moisture, instead of spraying liquid directly on it. Wipe with the cloth in slow, straight passes. If I have a disinfecting wipe, I'll quickly go around the edges remote, or the frame, but I don't turn it into a whole ritual. 3 minutes is enough to make the screen look noticeably cleaner, and it's one of those things that makes the space feel calmer without requiring much energy. The end is 5-minute pockets instead of waiting for a cleaning day. The last piece is using the tiny pockets of time that used to just disappear. 5 minutes waiting for something to come out of the oven, 5 minutes before you have to leave, 5 minutes when you're too tired for big tasks, but not ready to sit down yet. Instead of scrolling my phone, I pick one small area, the top of the nightstand, one kitchen counter, the shoe area by the door, one shelf in the bathroom. For 5 minutes, I clear trash, put things back where they belong, and wipe once if I have the energy. No reorganizing, no, while I'm here, I might as well. Spirals. Just 5 minutes, one spot. Most of the time, no one else in the house even notices that I did it. But I do. And over a week, those little pockets add up. The nightstand isn't buried. The counter isn't always covered. The entryway doesn't feel like a dumping ground. None of these habits are impressive on their own, and that's exactly why they work. They don't require a big push of motivation or a whole free afternoon. They're small enough to do on a bad day and repeatable enough to build into your actual life. You're not trying to become the person who deep cleans every Saturday with a full checklist. You're just trying to be the version of yourself who can say, I did a few small things today, and they made my space a little easier to live in. And on the kinds of days most of us are having, that's already a win. By the time you get to the end of a video like this, it's easy to think, that's nice in theory, but my house is still a lot. And honestly, that's true for most of us. These little routines don't magically erase every pile or every corner that's been ignored for months. What they do give you is a bit more control back cleaner tools, whites that actually look clean, a bed that doesn't make the room feel worse, and a few habits that fit inside a real day. That's enough to make tomorrow feel a little less heavy. If all you take from this is one thing, maybe you start soaking your whites properly, or you clean out the dryer once this month, or you decide the bed gets made no matter what, that's already a win. You don't have to use every single idea right away. Pick the one that bothers you the most when it's not done and start there. In the next video, we're going to shift from cleaning to how your space actually works for you. Not a full makeover, not a huge purge, just taking about an hour to look at one small area that isn't pulling its weight and changing it so it's easier to live with and easier to keep up. Think more this drawer finally makes sense and less empty out your entire house. So if you want to go from, I'm just barely keeping up to this corner actually works the way I need it to keep an eye out for that one. And if this kind of calm, realistic approach to home care feels helpful, you can stick around, subscribe, or just come back next time.